Hello and welcome back, my name is Sullosian and this is another video in Skywanderers. So, welcome to the bridge of the hammer. I think that's what we called it. It's been a little while since the last video and I really do apologise for that. It's not something I was hoping to do, to be taking so long in between videos, but it's just the way things have been with general life at the moment. I've just been too busy for a lot of videos, and then overall getting a good level of content done and built and produced for you guys. I don't want to be putting videos out there that's just sort of half-assed, like, oh look, I just built a chair, here's a 20-minute video on it. I don't want to do that. I want to be, here is the bridge in a basically complete format, and this is what I want you guys to see and to be able to look at and say, okay, this is what things are going to look like later on when he's got the ship done. So that's sort of what I'm going for at the moment. So welcome to the bridge. Please just try and ignore these here for now. These things here, these are all just here for when we were flying the ship, and I haven't got rid of them yet because I will probably just steal these logic boards here or something, and I don't know, it's just handy to have those there to be able to fly the ship if I need to. But basically everything from there backwards, this is the bridge. So we'll just take a little bit of a tour around here now, try not to take too long with it. Basically we've got the command chair here. Anyone who's seen Stargate Atlantis or Stargate SG-1, they might remember these. The command chair, basically you sit in it, and if you've got the ancient gene, then you can activate it and the chair will tilt back and activate like so. Now hopefully you liked the little clip I did at the beginning there, just a short little intro showing me walking through the bridge, having a look around at everything, and then getting into the chair, activating it, and it tilted back with me in it. And overall, I'm just super happy with the way this all turned out. We've got the ancient hieroglyphs on the ground here, the Altiran hieroglyphs. If you can read what they say, then that is awesome. You're a bit of a nerd, a bit like me, I guess. Basically this here is the letter S for in the Altiran language, and this is the letter E, so SE for the Sullosian Empire. And then over here you've got A, L, T, E, R, A, and N, and that spells Altiran, which is the name of the language which the ancients spoke, or not so much spoke, but rather wrote in. At least I remember it being called that. If I'm wrong, you know, please correct me, and I kind of feel a bit stupid for saying that now. But moving on from that, I'm really overall just happy with the way this chair turned out. It's very big, it's a big chair, but in order to get the level of detail and make it look good and overall get it to tilt back and getting this little chair piece centered, I had to use sliders for that because for some reason it just doesn't want to place normally otherwise. You know, it was a little bit finicky, but I got it built, and overall this is actually one of the things I'm most happy with I've built in the game. Like, I've got the coffee machine out there, which I built, but then there's this. I'm just overall blown away by this. It's just awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, moving on to this side here, we have our control consoles and chairs for various crew members over here, and sort of walkway which goes up to the catwalk up here, so commanding officers can look out the windows and also look over their minions doing their controlling. And then over just here we've got the navigation control pods. So if you remember, in the engineering bay we have a hyperdrive core which can do 6 different hyperdrive jumps just from the core itself, and then there's a 7th hyperdrive core down below decks which can be accessed by, say, the captain. So the 6 different hyperdrive cores that can be accessed will be accessed and controlled from here. So we'll just have a quick look. Basically you've got the button here to activate the galaxy map here, which will open up here. Then you've got the hyperdrive engaging sliders here, and then these control sticks just in case I ever want to link them up to something. But basically the person will sit here, they will activate their holographic map, they will choose their destination for hyperdrive number 1. As we can see here, this is Altiran for number 1. I've only got the Altiran up to number 6, which is that one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6 different hyperdrives, different pods for each of them. Person sets their respective pod's location, so say hyperdrive 1 is set for 1 light year that direction, and then hyperdrive 2 is set back to this exact location. So hyperdrive 1 can just launch us over to the 1 light year over there, say we're going into battle, and then if we are getting completely destroyed in that battle, hyperdrive 2 has no reprogramming to do. All they have to do is activate their slider, and away we FTL hyperdrive jump all the way back to our current location, trying to save time and overall having 6 different locations that can get set all at the same time. That's basically what I want to be able to happen. It's what I want to be possible, and I think it's just overall a really good idea for the system. I'd like to hear your opinions on it, if you like the idea and the shape of the pods, if you think they're any good. The only bad thing about the pods, I'll actually just demonstrate because it's not hooked up yet, but hook up the galaxy map to the hyperdrive and then you activate the map. As you can see, you can't actually really get to the outskirts of the galaxy too easily, but the idea is that you would sit in this chair here and then you would just sort of mouse wheel around, and I'm pretty sure we're getting a rework of the galaxy map eventually, so it might change and it might start working a lot better. Who knows? So let's just set over there. Let's go towards, say, that nebula there. I always do like going towards nebulas. They're quite amazing to be near. Let's set a red star, I think. We'll set for that one. And then we'll just zoom out here. And then we can disengage that. And then we'll actually just have to hook up this here to this here. And if we wanted to, we could just activate that slider and we could go for a hyperdrive jump in so and so direction. So I hope you like those little pods. They were an interesting thing to create. I sort of just looked up navigation room on Google and had to sort of look around at what some of the spaceships online looked like, and this is what I was inspired most by. I mean, there was nothing really out there that looked exactly like this, but just various images all led me to wanting to create these. I don't know why, but here they are, and they look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. So hopefully you like them, and hopefully you understand everything I've spoken about with those. If nothing is clear, just let me know, and I'll do my best to re-explain it and just sort of explain it in a better way. But moving on, you've also got these little lights here. Just I don't know why, I just wanted to get some little lights, and it's a simple sort of design which I reckon could be used across the ship in corridors and such, and it looks pretty good. It's simple, it's just a light rod, pick light rod, and then it's just some bricks built up around it. So it's pretty simple to make, and I think it's pretty good. It sort of adds just a little bit of detail. Moving on, you've got these control consoles which don't have anything on them yet because we haven't got a ship yet. It's mostly just a bridge and a bit of hull, but we'll just sort of leave that as is. If you've got any questions about what's going on here, basically I just want to have different panels will be designated for different sections of the ship. So forward left weapons, forward right weapons, something or other. I don't know, we'll just sort of leave it at that. I haven't really decided what each of the panels will be, or if we'll even end up using them all, who knows. Moving on to this side here, whilst that side is navigation, this side here will be the war room of sorts. So the war room will have this table here which has the blueprint of the ship come up on a holographic display, and basically I can then just have a look at the ship, damage, anything that I need to know about the ship, and we'll actually go outside and have a look at it shortly. But these ones here will be linked to, if we can see it, I'll just fly over here, sorry about going a bit slow. We've got a Sullosian class destroyer there, and when it is docked we can link up one of those holographic displays to the docking block, and it will show us the ship that is docked on that docking port. So the idea is that you have this one here, which I might end up making bigger, and then we have these ones here which will rest under the wings just under here, and you can actually see if the ships are damaged, so that way you know which one to retreat to. If one of them's damaged and you're like, okay, well the left one is destroyed, let's retreat to the right one, and then we can actually get out of here with a chance of survival. So think of them as like destroyer class escape pods. Hopefully that all makes sense, and if you've got any more questions about that, let me know and I will cover it. But we'll just come back up here. I'm just super pleased with the way this entire bridge looks. I mean, standing from back here, I'd feel pretty awesome if I was the captain walking onto my bridge and this is what I saw. Like 24 odd team members all sitting at stations, other commanding officers watching over them, sort of people in their navigation pods there plotting our course for the future, and I can basically walk up to my command chair here like I did at the beginning of the video, and then just activate it, sit back, and I can view from this nice panoramic view window just everything that there is to see in space, like that wonderful nebula over there next to a destroyed destroyer. But hopefully you like this, hopefully you think the bridge is awesome. I put a little bit of work into it and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Overall, a lot of detailing still needs to go into things, but I think it looks pretty good for what it is. I mean, it's a pretty big bridge. I mean, how many ships have a bridge this big and actually would utilize all this space? It's very wide open space and it's really wonderful compared to the engineering, which is a bit cramped and very orange. This is just a gentle glow of light here and there, and it really works. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I hope you guys all like it too. If you got any suggestions, let me know. I'll just try and break it up into areas. This is basically just sort of the panoramic viewing point, so nothing will really go in this section here. It's just for sitting here and having clear uninterrupted views out the windows. You've got sort of some vents here, you got the platform up here. This is where some logic will be hidden, just under here, under the catwalk, so that's where that will all go. We've got the control consoles here, you got the sort of meeting point for commanding officers. They can all stand here and they can talk, and then they can go to different locations, like out here to the rest of the ship, and then up to the command chair to fly it. But moving on quickly, because I don't want to waste too much time, just out here, I need your opinion. Is it better to have, similar to the engineering, a giant sort of vault door, or would it be better to have a sort of concourse area where everyone just sort of can meet up in this sort of big dome area and then go off to different sections, like sort of leaving everything open? So like, think like a large spiral staircase with the waterfall in the middle leading off to different sections of the ship, sort of very grand, and just sort of going off onto the nice bridge, and then eventually the hangar bays and the engineering and living quarters, all that sort of stuff. Just a sort of big dome area similar to the Sullosian base star central mall area. I would like your opinion on that, or would it be better to have a vault door sort of set up? And on top of that, would it be a good idea to have some secondary doors here on the catwalks, or would it be better only to have the large vault door sort of thing to limit people coming onto the bridge to one entrance as opposed to three? 1, 2 and 3. So I'd like to hear your opinions on that, so just let me know what you think about that, Eddie, and we will just now come on out here to the rest of the ship and give you a view of outside. So I've done a little bit more work on the paneling, not too much. I was overall just trying to get the block I wanted, and I've just been trying really hard to get the right level of detail and block placement, making things look non-dodgy. Basically, the thing about using hinged surfaces as opposed to just using triangular surfaces is that the hinged ones clip through things, and therefore if you're not careful there will be just bits of blocks sticking out and it doesn't look very good. So just sort of getting things to meet up nicely like this is very difficult to do sometimes. But we'll just sort of cover this here. Basically the reason why I used hinged surfaces is that I can add more detail to it. If it's a hinged surface, it means that it's basically a standard block like this, whereas usually you'd have to build off of stuff like this and then you could add the detailing. Whereas if you build with, hang on, just grab it, triangular hulls, you can't actually place anything on them. You are limited to, you know, only the square blocks. whereas if you use the triangles, then you can basically get the smooth surface look you want, but it's limited to the 45-degree angle, and you can't place anything on it. So all of these are just hinged surfaces, which allows me to build more details onto it, which also gives it a bit of a nicer look, and I'm really happy with how it looks. On top of this, should I be working on blast doors? I just realised this is a very big window. Think about it in terms of space. One bullet goes through one window, you're open to space. You know, you kind of want one of the blast doors, similar to General Grievous's ship in Star Wars Episode 3. You know, the big blast doors that sealed up the bridge after he made a sort of suicide jump into space. Would it be a good idea to get some blast doors? I'd like to hear your opinion on that. Sort of trying to rush through things because I don't want to make the video too long. We've recolored the drone launching bay here. I'd like to get working on that very soon, so we'll see how that goes. If you've got any suggestions for detailing on the top here, I'm thinking big main weapons. I'm thinking in these circles here, whilst in the fan art, the design that we're basing the ship off, is that it's sort of just a big blank sort of circle. Would it be a good idea to have similar drone launching system, like a big sort of blast door, hangar bay door thing that opens up? Maybe a ship could come out of there, like a VTOL ship, or even just open it up and let swarms of missiles fly out. Maybe not a good idea because of the missile bays that will already be down here, but you never know. Just, I'd like to hear your suggestions. What should be going on top of this ship here? What should we be aiming for? Moving on to the shield towers here. I would like these to be filled with the shield generators once we get shields in the game, which is hopefully sometime soon in the future, but you never know if we don't get them at all. Basically, I want these to be filled with shields, and there will be 4 different shield towers providing a lot of shielding protection for this ship. So, there's not a whole lot more that's actually really happened. I've still got an issue with the engineering sort of bay. There's this big sort of pillar of engine blocks running through the middle of it, which I can't delete. We're just going to have to work on that and see what I can do about getting rid of that. Overall, still working on the back of the ship, hasn't really had much done to it. But I have been working on the armor paneling, just trying to get the general shape and color of things looking good. Yeah, it's just sort of me trying to fill in the paneling at the moment, just to try and get the ship looking normal. But already, to me, it looks pretty damn awesome, and I hope you guys agree with me. It's looking good. It's looking pretty schmick. Under here, under the wing panel, this is where we will have the destroyer class vessels dock. I'm thinking that the bridge will basically recede up into the ship, and then that's how people get in and out of it. They will basically use these little bridge doors here, and they will go in and out through like a little bit of a airlock mechanism which will secure to the bridge room of the ship, but the rest of the ship will just sort of hang underneath the armor plate wing paneling thing here. Yeah, this is just a destroyed version. I don't know why I spawned that one in, but I accidentally spawned in 2 of them. They were pre-destroyed, so eventually I will have a functional one which I will base the connecting of the 2 ships off. So hopefully that all makes sense. Hopefully you like the way things are going. I really hope you like the bridge. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I'd love to hear all the suggestions you guys have to offer. What you guys suggest really does help me to make videos, so just keep that in mind. Like, making an idea, even if you don't think it's a good one, it could spark interest or ideas in me. So I'm always open to listening to your ideas and suggestions, so just fire them away. I'd love to hear them. I think that's about it really. We will basically come back soon when I've got more of some paneling done, and maybe even this hangar bay here, this ship docking procedure there underneath the armor paneling. You never know, it could be a little while to the next video, hopefully no more than a week again, because again, I'm very sorry about the lack of videos. I've just been very busy. But I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you enjoy the ship, and I hope you guys have a good week. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.